And we are live. Welcome everybody to the Report All and Platte River webinar on powering smarter GIS workflows through access to a national parcel data feature service through ReportAll. My name is Scott Nelson. I will be your host for the brief webinar we have planned for you this afternoon. I am a sales director here at ReportAll. I am joined today by Laura Hurst. Give us a quick wave there, Laura. Hi, Laura, lead data engineer for us here at ReportAll. And we're also joined by our partner from Platte River Analytics, Andy Bohnhoff, founder and head honcho over there at Platte River. You will be hearing from them later in the webinar. Together, our goal will be to provide you an informative session here this afternoon, as well as a little bit of fun and lighthearted casual conversation around how a parcel data feature service can make your life better. Speaking of fun, there was a movie that came out back in the day, 2004, I guess that movie came out. I was checking earlier today. That movie is called Anchorman. If I can go ahead and have access to my slides. There we go. There was a pretty famous scene in that movie where a character named Brick said, I love lamp. And the reason I bring this scene up here is because my wife does a wonderful Brick impression just about every evening when she goes to bed. She says, I love bed. And the reason she says this all the time is because we upgraded from a queen-sized bed a couple years ago to a king-sized bed. And that upgrade has changed our life. Raise your hand. Nobody can see you, but raise your hand, if you've made that switch yourself. My wife and I are completely different sleepers, right? I sleep cold. She sleeps hot. I love air movement. I have 3 different fans blowing on me at all times. She can't stand any air movement on her. And we used to try to sleep in a queen-size bed, and we just kept bumping into each other, having all sorts of issues, upgraded to a king. And I swear every single day when she goes to bed now, she says, I love bed. Or she might say something like, how did we ever live without a king-size bed? We go to a hotel now, we sleep in a full or a queen, and we always think, man, how did we go, 16 years of marriage maybe, without our king-size bed? The reason I bring up the king versus the queen here today is because we hear our feature service clients here at ReportAll say something very similar. All the time we hear them say that they love the feature service, and how did we ever live without the feature service? We could never go back to the way it was before having access to a live nationwide parcel data API right into our tools. Our goal for this webinar is for you to discover how you too could say that you love the feature service, so that you too can discover how your life can be different, changed for the better if you make the upgrade. Here is how we are going to go about convincing you that your life can be better if you make the upgrade to a parcel data feature service. First thing we're going to do, make sure we're all on the same page. So we're going to have a brief overview of what the ReportAll feature service is. Then we're going to take a look at what I call the constrained life, people living without this feature service in their life. We will then briefly give you a demo of how your experience with GIS data can be upgraded if you choose to work with a feature service. I will share with you some basic workflows. Laura will go into some more advanced workflows, and then Andy will even talk about some custom tools, widgets, apps, processes that partners such as his firm can build for you. Then we'll go over, of course, how you can go about making the upgrade to a parcel data feature service, give you some practical details if you want to set up a trial, move forward, etc. And there will be time at the end for some Q&A. Quick housekeeping here. You should have access to a Q&A chat button in the platform, you are welcome to ask a question at absolutely any time. We will have somebody monitoring those questions, so there is a chance we will answer those questions live if they are super pertinent to what we're talking about and a clarification is needed, but we will most likely answer that question at the end in our Q&A session. We have blocked an hour out for this webinar, very unlikely to need that whole time, so hope to give you some time back to your day. Let's talk now about the feature service itself. I like to call it enriched parcel data. What we do here at ReportAll is we take tax assessor data from across the US, 3,230 tax assessing jurisdictions to be clear. That is the main source of our data. Owner name, mailing address, land use, zoning information, etc. We take that tax assessor data, we combine it with all these other data layers that you are seeing on the screen. We have a nationwide zoning layer that we are pairing in with our data layer, FEMA flood zone, high field energy data for substations and transmission lines, the national land cover and crop cover data layers from the government. We pull in some Census Bureau data, some United States Postal Service data, both of those to really enhance our site address and mailing address data. And then we are adding in some what I call enhanced property insights, building out some coverage from a real estate perspective, things about building details, sales history, etc., that our real estate clients tend to care about. Maybe sometimes tax assessors don't provide full coverage on that. So we're adding in those enhanced property insights. So tax assessor data plus these other layers. Primary use case for us across our client base is the United States and the territories of the United States, but we do have international coverage as well. Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK. And soon, I put a little asterisk on this one, we are working on a public-private government land layer that will be added into the parcel data as well. And then beyond that, more to come in the future. Please drop a question in the Q&A. If you have some questions on that, is what exactly is included in the parcel data feature service. The feature service is designed for use in Esri ArcGIS products, mainly ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro, also works great with your enterprise environment. We see lots of folks deploying in Experience Builder as well. Do also note those tools on the side. ArcGIS for AutoCAD plugin. Feature service works great with that plugin. We worked with Esri and one of our engineering clients maybe 8-9 months ago at this point to make the feature service compatible with your AutoCAD environment through the ArcGIS for AutoCAD plugin. You see some other tools there that we work with as well. Survey 123, Field Maps, ArcGIS Earth. Please note, feature service will not work very well, if at all, with your ArcMap or web app builders. So do look to upgrade that tech stack if you are still on those older tools. Now, I have a picture here of a caged eagle, right? Eagles are made to soar. In this picture, you're seeing an eagle constrained, can't fully stretch its wings and get out there and fly. That's kind of how I picture folks who are living without a parcel data feature service in their life, right? Their wings have been clipped, they're caged, they do not have the resources to go out and accomplish all they could because they are hampered by manual data collection, going county to county, trying to grab this data on their own. I work with a large nationwide railroad client who, before they worked with us, said they were trying to tie into over 300 APIs to pull in parcel data into their map. And those APIs kept breaking, the links kept going down, so their real estate teams kept not having access to the parcel data they needed because they were trying to do this manually. They moved over to our feature service. Life is good. The other pain point we see people experience is having multiple formats and schemas, trying to stitch together data that doesn't fit super well together. Working with a well-known oil and gas company that you likely would know, who for years has been paying third-party contractors to come in and try to tie their data attributes to parcel boundaries. They're in separate databases, separate systems, and the process is so expensive, so cumbersome, they don't update their data very often, which leads into our third point. We see people all the time saying, hey, it's too hard to collect this data, it's too hard to match it together, so we just stick with data we got 6 years ago. That data, of course, being 6 years old, is inaccurate and out of date. And then we see folks who maybe access nationwide parcel data through a view-only tool or through an all-in-one platform that just doesn't give them full GIS functionality. Excuse me, when our clients switch to our parcel data feature service, we see them enjoy things like having nationwide access in one standard schema, live data. When you use our feature service, it's our live data streamed into your mapping platform. And with the ArcGIS tools, you're going to have full GIS functionality at your fingertips. Now, as we look into what it's like for our clients on the feature service to stretch those wings here, right, to be unconstrained, to have this upgraded GIS life, so to speak, here are the three things we see. There's some very basic core benefits that they seem to particularly enjoy. They have the ability then to run some advanced analyses, which Laura is going to show us in a minute. And then they can either themselves or by partnering with folks like Platte River, build some custom tools and processes that are going to make their life very enjoyable, free up a ton of time and resources, and give them the ability to accomplish more work. Let me pause for a quick drink. And we are going to transition here to a little screen share. So I'm going to share my screen briefly. Give me and we are off and running. Somebody shoot up a flare signal if you cannot see my screen. If my team in the backstage wants to give me a thumbs up that we're off and running, that would be fantastic. Okay, good. Got the thumbs up. We are good to go. All right, I'm going to give you just a quick glimpse of what I would call like the most basic benefits of having access to a parcel data feature service in your ArcGIS environment. So here I have ReportAll's ArcGIS Online account pulled up. I can quickly turn on my ArcGIS Online map. All I need to do to get the parcel data in here is to go to my previously added layers, click on the parcel layer here, go to add to map, and I now have a nationwide feature service loaded into my map. We can pick any old area. We can zoom in. Once we get past the desired visibility range, bing, bang, boom, there is our parcel data. Click on any parcel that we see. Full attributes that I've selected to display will come up here. So first and most basic benefit, instant access, nationwide parcels, go look anywhere I want, pull up data for that specific parcel. Now, plenty of other basic benefits beyond these. Using a tool like ArcGIS Online, what our clients really appreciate. Let me actually search for an address here first. Get out of here. Let's go to a county I am familiar with. Here we go. Now in Stark County, Ohio, where I am calling you from here today, we can use the filter tool. A lot of tools out there, great tools. This can give you view-only access to parcel data. With this filter tool, we can start to specify exactly the fields we want to see. So I can say, hey, you know what? I am only interested in residential properties. Now, as I look around, I'm only going to see my residential properties, or maybe I want to switch to agricultural properties. Now I'm only seeing agricultural properties outlined. You can do all sorts of filters here. Any attribute that is available here can be filtered, which is very nice. So you can find exactly the parcels that you are looking for. This is a very basic tool. A lot of people find this super beneficial. I'm going to go ahead and clear these filters out. Another very basic benefit here would be the ability to stylize based on a field of your choice. I can say, you know what, I want to be able to quickly tell what land use class every parcel in this area is. So I'm going to color code them. Once internet starts working here we go. I will color code these. I have my key up here on the left. I'm going to color code so as I'm panning around, I can quickly tell at a glimpse maybe what the land use classification is, maybe what the zoning is, maybe what the acreage is, right? We can choose any of these styles that we want to use. And then next, we have the ability to add a label. Again, any data attribute we want can be used as a label. A very common one would be owner name, right? We can turn owner name on. We go ahead and add a second label if we want to. Maybe we care about calculated acreage. We can go ahead and turn that on here. And then you can, of course, do all different sorts of overlapping style, move things around so that it looks much better than what you are seeing on my screen. Just giving you a very basic intro there. Last from me, and then we're going to let Laura, someone much smarter and more advanced in her skills than me, take over. Last from me, basic benefit. People ask all the time, can I download data from the feature service? The answer is absolutely yes. You can. Here through the extract data tool, you can download any parcels that you find in these formats that your mapping tool allows. So basic benefits of having access to a parcel data feature service in your mapping platform: the ability to have standardized schema, nationwide coverage, live data that you can filter, that you can style, that you can label, and that you can also extract. We are going to pull up Laura onto the screen now, and she is going to begin to share some more advanced analyses that you can run with the parcel data.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Hurst. I'm the lead data engineer here at ReportAll. I've been here for about 6 years, and I basically integrate data sets and drive data updates and maintain the county data as well. I actually was a part of the initial testing for the feature service, and it's improved my workflows as well. It's really helpful for QA. I can just throw in parcels and kind of look at other stuff on top of it. I'm gonna share my screen now. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's my screen. This is actually ArcGIS Pro. This is a desktop application, so it's the kind of more advanced local version that you can use for this for Esri. Basically, right now we have the feature service in, but if you wanted to add it, you just go to add data, and then you do it from path, and you would put your URL, your client key in here, your URL with it. It's very similar to ArcGIS Online. You just zoom in, you see all of your parcels. One thing that usually trips people up when they do try this is that they will try to open the attribute table without doing any kind of filter, and you get this failed to load data error. There's nothing wrong with the feature service. It's just got 220 million parcels in it. So that is a very, very large database to query. So it's a lot easier just to do a selection. So first you could try doing a selection with just the select cursor right here. And you have this very odd selection that I have. And you can go to selection when you right click the feature service, and then attribute tables showing selection. And now there we go. I have 994 parcels selected from just that area. Another way people like to look at data is you click the feature service, you go to data, and you can do a definition query. So here we'll build a new one. Yeah, I'll get rid of that one. There we go. So this basically just limits the feature service to seeing only what you want to see. This is actually really helpful in saving your transactions because there's different levels of the feature service. But here we go. We go to county name. We'll do Cuyahoga County because I don't think there's another Cuyahoga County. Actually, and we'll also do where calculated acreage is greater than 2 acres. We'll see what we get doing that. So I go ahead and I apply my query. There we go. That's all we have right now is anything over 2 acres in Cuyahoga County. But say you want to select using a polygon that you already have. Just add your polygon to the map. We're going to go to this one. I actually need to turn off my, oops, I'm on the wrong one. Off my definition query and put on a different one. So this one will just be Medina County. Okay. So I have a polygon here and I want to find all the parcels that are just in this polygon. So select by location here in the map tab. You put the feature service as your input, and then I'm going to have their center in for the relationship. And here we go, test selector. Okay. And this will just select all of the parcels that are in this polygon. And a little bit extra. Oh, yeah, I think a little bit extra for that one. If I wanted to use a buffer, well, not really a buffer, but select within a distance of a line. I'm going to remove that one and clear my selection. My line is not very visible, so we're going to make that visible first. Here we go. So I have my line, and I want to select all the parcels within about 150 meters of this line. Okay, we do within a distance. We're going to use the feature service again as the input features, and the selecting feature would be the test line. So it's within 150 meters. Let's see. Yep, there it is. We have our selection. Excellent. And then if you want to, you can check out your table again using selection. Oops, wrong one. Selection. There we go. We have our 25 parcels. Say you want to export that data, you need to send it to a coworker or just keep it for later. You can go ahead and export it. I'm just going to leave it to the default location, which is the project geodatabase. All right. If you turn off the feature service, you have your selection right there still. And great. All right. But if you want to do something more advanced, maybe you want to chain some tools together. There's also, this is actually a model that I built a while ago. You can do this in ArcGIS Pro where you can chain different tools together. So that way you don't have to do so many clicks. You don't have to, create your selection and do your export. You can do it all at once. This actually was used for a case for having a center line that went over 1,000 miles. And when you use the feature service for selections and exports, you can only export, I think, up to 1,000 parcels at a time. So say you obviously at 1,000 miles, it's going to be more than 1,000 parcels. So to run a process like that, you're going to have to divide the center line into multiple pieces. And then you would iterate through that selection. And this will do the select by location using each of the divided pieces of the center line, and then export each of those. So it doesn't divide the center line itself, and it exports them into the different pieces, but you have to merge it together at the end. So you're still using other tools. I tried having that included, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to debug using Model Builder. I have a solution for that later, don't worry. So we're going to try building another model just so you can see how it works and how you can chain these tools together. So for instance, we can use pairwise dissolve. Actually, this one's the wrong one. Not that one. It's actually, I believe it's buffer that we want. So, yeah. pairwise buffer. Let me get rid of this window so we can see everything better. All right, you can just drag everything over. All of your tools are here in the geoprocessing window. So we also need select layer by location. And then we need export features. So all you have to do is set up your tools in here. Your input would be the feature service. We're going to make this 150 meter buffer. That's good. And then you set this as the input to the next tool. That's input features. Actually, I think that's the selecting features. I'll have to fix that. This is the input features for the feature service. Yeah, there we go. And we will use, we'll use intersect. We'll leave that. The selecting features would be the buffer that's created in the previous tool. We can leave everything else. And then the parcels would go into the export as an input. All right, so that looks correct. It should run. All right, it looks like it was happy. It took the process. Okay, I'm gonna refresh it just to make sure this is the new one. There we go. We have our new selection, and there it is. Terrible symbology, bad visualization, but there we go. That's much better. So yeah, that's just how you run a model. That was a really simple one. I did want to show just a more complicated script that does a similar thing as well. Oop. Sorry, my mouse is bugging out. So this is just a center line I created to just be like a railroad essentially. So this is about 100 miles long across Ohio. And for this, it's the same as that model I showed earlier. It needs to be divided into a bunch of different segments and then iterated through. The model did not divide it or merge the selections before, but I have a script that I wrote. And I highly suggest, if you are not familiar with coding, AI will help you do this pretty easily. ArcGIS has a library called ArcPy that you can use with ArcGIS, and it's very robust, very easy to use. It's very similar. All of the tools have their own ArcPy functions that you can use. So basically, in this one, I'm actually going to click Run just to get it started. So the function of this is that it's going to, where does it start? Okay, so it validates the inputs. A lot of the problems with models, it can be that maybe you're having a hard time getting it to work because you're having just bugs in it, and ArcGIS doesn't always give you great debug statements within that or errors that you can figure out what's going on with it. So that's helpful that it validates the inputs to make sure that everything you're putting in there is correct. It divides the polyline. Let's see, and then it goes into an actual select by location per segment. It iterates through each one, and it selects all the segments. It merges them together, and then it will remove any duplicates between segments that are selected. And then it cleans up all of the intermediate files, all of the extra segments that were created. That way, if you need to run it again, you can without creating any additional errors. So basically, this is the output that it gave. And it took me, I wrote this for a customer. It took about an hour, I think, for me to write it with AI. It cut it into 25 different segments based on my variables right here. And then it cuts all of the segments. It looks like it cuts all of them well. It has a different amount of parcels per segment. It cut them into equal pieces. So it's still processing. It's still going. It looks like it's gonna, there's one that didn't work, but because I know which one didn't work, I can go back and change my variables to make sure that it will work the next time if I just rework it a little bit, which is why I have the keep segments and remove, not that one, and clean intermediate up as variables so I can turn them on or off to help me debug. And now it's cleaning up the intermediate files. It merged everything together. It already removed the duplicates. We had 910 unique features. And we should have the output shortly. There we go. Now it's complete. All right. Now we can check what our output looked like. It went to this GDB based on my variables I specified. All right. And here's the parcel selection. This was based off of a 150 meter variable, just like a distance variable, just like we did before. And it did a great job in selecting all the parcels in a pretty quick fashion, much faster than doing it by hand for sure. So, and yeah, that's just some examples of common use cases. That's a really common use case for transportation and for like utility companies. They do a lot of parcel selection for center lines. And yeah, that's just a use case for advanced analysis. All right.
All right, thank you, Laura, and thanks Scott for having me, and all the ReportAll team for having me. Like Scott mentioned earlier, my name is Andy Bohnhoff, president and founder of Platte River Analytics. We're an ad hoc GIS consulting and services firm, also an Esri business partner. Also do a lot of work with ReportAll. A lot of our clients use ReportAll data, parcel data, and specifically the feature service. So just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the custom tools and processes we have at Platte River, specifically using ReportAll data. Um, the main one I wanted to spend a little bit of time on today is something we call Acre Vision. So Acre Vision is a custom widget that we have built inside Esri's Experience Builder. Works in both ArcGIS Online and Enterprise Portal. Acre Vision is a tool that pretty much seamlessly taps into ReportAll's parcel feature service to help streamline site selection. So this tool is used by a lot of renewable energy clients, solar, wind, etc. Um, Scott had mentioned earlier at one point, parcel research was a fairly manual process, right? So Acre Vision takes what used to be a manual parcel by parcel constraint check and kind of turns it into a single automated buildable acreage analysis. Like I said, tying directly into ReportAll's parcel data. So how this tool works, once again, custom built inside of Experience Builder, analyzes either one or more parcels against buildable acreage kind of factors, right? So you have inputs of roads, buildings, floodplains, wetlands, slope, really any sort of regulatory constraint that you might have, this tool can use. Um, so instead of someone having to manually check each of those constraints one at a time, parcel by parcel, AcreVision actually runs that analysis within the cloud. It hands back a detailed output, right? So the detailed output is a real buildable acreage analysis. So not necessarily like, here's the parcel data. It's more of a here's actually what's usable within that parcel, within those set of parcels, right? So we're taking the ReportAll feature service, we're building on top of that. We're adding a buildable acreage analysis on top of that parcel data. So I don't have a live screen share to show, but I do have a couple of screenshots for you. So if you're looking at my screen right now, this first one's just a parcel, 640 acre parcel. I think Piatt County, Illinois, which is where I live, is where this parcel is. You can see a river running through the parcel. You can see some buildings to the left. So this is what the beginning of the tool looks like. And if I go over a screen after this tool runs, so this tool can run this 640 acre parcel in probably a second or less, and then get back your buildable acreage analysis, right? So you can see here the initial acreage, 643 acres. After this tool runs, takes back the parcels, the buildings, and the wetlands. We're remaining 587 acres. So this tool very quickly within a web environment got me a buildable acreage analysis, right? So Laura was showing some acreage analysis within ArcGIS Pro. This is a similar concept, but done within a web environment. So we kind of built this tool to work really more for the non-GIS analyst. the executive, the land analyst, you know, even the landman can come in here, get an address or get a couple parcel owners and come in here and quickly get some really good solid buildable acreage analysis. So that's mainly what I wanted to show today, was just a quick kind of custom tool that we built over the last couple of years. Have had really good success with a lot of renewable energy clients getting this tool to work. Like I said, the ReportAll Feature Service is very instrumental in making this work. We have access to nationwide parcel data set. You can analyze a handful of parcels in Nevada. A couple of minutes later, analyze a handful of parcels in Texas. Right? You can get a buildable acreage analysis and get some really good analysis out of that. Tool works in Enterprise and ArcGIS Online, like Scott had mentioned. The feature service works in just about every sort of Esri tool. So we use that analysis in ArcGIS Pro. We do some wide scale analysis, like Laura had mentioned. We'll go 100-mile pipeline and pull hundreds of thousands of parcel owners, and then go into Enterprise and do some kind of in-depth buildable acreage analysis on that area. So pretty awesome that the tool works in just about every single Esri environment. I'll be back on later to share a little bit more, but yeah, thanks for having me talk a little bit about a custom tool that we built, and I believe I'm going to throw it back to Scott.
Thank you, Andy. All right, friends, we are nearing the end here. Final thing we wanted to chat about before we do some Q&A, and we do see those questions coming in the Q&A. Please feel free to keep adding those. Our team is answering some of them as they come in. We will address the rest at the end. We want to talk about how you can make the upgrade, right? We truly do think, for many of you on the call today, that just like that character from Anchorman said, "I love lamp," and just like my wife every night says, "I love bed," and like all of our clients say, "I love feature service," we think you too will love the feature service. So if you are interested in adding nationwide parcel data to your GIS workflows, I'm going to answer some questions now how you can go about doing that. The first thing you need to do is to make sure that you have access to an ArcGIS tool. On the screen here, you are seeing a page that is actually a direct link from ReportAll's referral link. I am going to put this in the chat for you right now. If you look above the Q&A tab, there is now a chat feature we opened up. This will take you directly to this page. It's a referral from ReportAll where you can access some ArcGIS user licenses. We recommend maybe the creator here to get started. This will give you access to the tools that you're going to need to be able to add that feature service in. $700 a year, base price here for one license to ArcGIS as a basic creator license that gets you access to Pro and to the online maps as well. We do have some Esri folks on the call here. We can put you in touch with some people there if you have questions about their products, or Andy and his team do help with implementation, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. First thing you need to do, though, if you want to make this upgrade for yourself, is to make sure you have access to ArcGIS. Second thing we need you to do, come over here to our website, register for a free profile. You're going to create an account, absolutely free to do, just a little form for you to fill here. Once you create this account, you can come into the account, and then on your left, you're going to have a page that says API Dashboard. You click on this API Dashboard, and that is going to give you access to a trial account that you can set up. You're going to generate a client key that will be live for 30 days of access to the parcel data feature service. Then you'll be given this documentation here for how you can add the feature service into your Pro environment, picture by picture steps. You're basically going to take your API key, your feature service key, plug it into this URL here, go to add data from path, and you'll be up and running in Pro. Picture by picture steps for ArcGIS Online, as well as ArcGIS Earth here for you. Our team can certainly help you get the tools added if needed. How do you make the upgrade? Step one, make sure you have ArcGIS. Step 2, set up that free trial. Step 3, add the data to your ArcGIS environment through these simple services, and then go ahead and use that trial to try to understand how your credits are going to work. Step 4 then is choose the plan that works for you. We have 2 different pricing plans for the feature service. We have what we call a metered approach. That is a credit-based approach, meaning you will pre-purchase 1 year of access, and you'll say, I need to use this many credits to the feature service over the course of the year. You can see there's 12, 13 different tiers right here. I'm going to go over these in more detail in a second. We also, if you'll note here at the bottom, have an unlimited option as well for your internal usage. As long as your usage is for your internal company, we do have unlimited options available to you. If you're looking at these metered options, though, you might be wondering, well, what's a parcel transaction and what's a tile transaction? That is a fantastic question, and I am glad that you asked. If you look here on this map, this is actually an Esri background map. The feature service here, the API, would be our orange lines on top of this map. There are 2 types of credits you can use with the feature service. I have those highlighted right above the map there. There are tile credits and parcel credits. Can definitely explain these more on a call with you if this is confusing to you. But the simple way to think about it is if you click on a parcel and that pops up, you'll notice you've now used 1 parcel credit. Or if you think about some of Laura's examples, I think she found 912 parcels when she ran that one line in the buffer. If you were to run that same analysis and identify 912 parcels, that would use 912 credits. Parcel credits. Now, for 1 parcel credit, you can view and or download or extract, to use Esri's word, extract that data. Okay, so 1 credit allows you to view the data and to download the data. Okay, now tiles are a little different. I'm going to go over this really quick and again can explain it in more detail. A tile is a square image, a transparent square image that has parcel lines drawn on it. 1 tile does not equal 1 parcel boundary. If you see these black lines, these black vertical lines here, those are the edges of a tile. So tile is just a square from our database that we use to show you the parcel boundaries. As you zoom around with your feature service, you will use tile credits. They can go up kind of quick. They do cache temporarily. You see they're not going up as much anymore as I go over the same spot. But when I go to a new spot, it's going to go up again. They do go up kind of quick. So if we look back here, you can see we provide hundreds of thousands or millions of those tile credits to you. As you're thinking about which plan might be best for you, I will say the parcel credits are almost always the limiting factor here. So the way you can make the upgrade right, make sure you have ArcGIS. Feel free to use that link that I sent you. Then set up your trial. Then get that feature layer added to your ArcGIS environment using our step-by-step instructions here. Choose which plan is right, paying attention to your API dashboard that you'll have, which will show you just how many credits you're using throughout your trial. If you feel like you need custom tools built for you or you need help implementing that feature service, we actually contract with Platte River and with Andy to help in the implementation process. So we're going to bring Andy back in now, and we're going to have him tell us a little bit more about how Platte River can help. You can certainly self-serve and get up and running pretty quickly on your own, but if your needs are a little more complex or you just don't have the team or confidence to do it, Andy and his team would be glad to help. So let's go ahead and bring Andy back in. I will stop sharing my screen. Hey,
Thanks,
Andy.
Scott.
Okay, Andy, let me ask, what would you say generally prompts clients to reach out to Platte River and say like, hey, can you help me get started with this whole process?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Scott. A lot of times clients will reach out, typically don't have a GIS department. Maybe a small GIS department's a little overwhelmed, right? A lot of times they'll come to us and say, hey, listen, we have all this data sitting around. We have spreadsheets, we have KMLs, we have shapefiles, so on. They just don't know where or how to get started with it. in the case of working with a ReportAll customer, a lot of times it's, hey, this is great data, but how do we use it, right? Like Laura showed a model. That's a little difficult for the beginning GIS user. So somebody might come to us and say, hey, we need every landowner within a half mile of these 500 different pipelines. Can you help us with this, right? So our team at Platte River, we're a whole team of ad hoc GIS specialists. We can help implement enterprise, implement ArcGIS online, kind of help you get up and running with the data that you're looking for.
So basically, what I heard you saying there, right? Like, I think you probably agree with this. Like, most folks can use our step-by-step instructions, get the feature service added in to their tools. But there'll be plenty of people who say, okay, great, I've got it live now. I have this live data in my map, but not real sure how to maybe do some of those things that Laura was working on, right? How to
Right.
run that query, how to build those more complex processes. So they can come to you, you can help build out those processes for them, and they can run those on their own time. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
We help teams build processes, especially web mapping, right? Scott, you guys both are, at least you showed some web mapping processes earlier. And that's another thing my team can help with is, help get the feature service up and going in a web map, get some custom tools going, get some filters, some searches, some queries, things like that. And just kind of help that team advance more with the parcel data that they purchased.
Put you on the spot here. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but are there things you don't do? I mean, because sometimes saying like, "Hey, here's what we do" is helpful, but are there things like, "Hey, we won't do this" for folks that maybe sometimes you get asked in relation to this?
Um, I guess the best way to answer that question is we do everything on an Esri environment. We're Esri business partners, and everything we do is ArcGIS Online, Enterprise, ArcGIS Pro, back in the day, ArcMap. We don't do a whole lot of open source mapping. We typically stick to an Esri environment. So I'd say that's the one thing we don't do is kind of venture outside of Esri very often.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And to be clear, that same client key folks generate with ReportAll, right, can be used in other API type environments. This webinar focused specifically on the feature service, but good to know you are working exclusively there with Esri products. So if you need help with a feature service related question in an Esri environment, Andy is a good resource for you. Andy, a couple examples maybe to help put some flesh on the bones here, so to speak, or paint a clear picture of um, what implementation looks like, how
Yeah.
third-party partners like Platte River can help folks out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So, you asked a good question, Scott, on like what's like a recent implementation, right? So, recently we had a solar energy company reach out. It's a small team, right? Less than 15 people on the team. They did not have a GIS analyst or obviously a GIS department in the company. So they said, hey, listen, we have all this data. We have KMLs, we have shape files, we have spreadsheets, we have all this. We just don't know what to do with it, right? We need live maps, we need dynamic maps, we need processes. Can you help us out? So at Platte River, we offer something called a Jumpstart program. It's a 3 to 4 day program where we just for 3 or 4 straight days we're implementing data, we're putting data in their system, we're hooking them up with the feature services, we're getting them dynamic live maps, taking all their data and putting it within a dynamic and interactive environment. So that Jumpstart program has been very, very popular to help clients get up and going on the ReportAll Feature Service, get them going with some imagery, some maps, some data, things like that. So um, specifically on the solar side, that's been pretty popular, trying to help companies get off the ground running with their GIS data.
Nice. Well, thanks, Andy. We appreciate you being here. We will
Thanks, Scott.
give you Andy's contact info, everybody, at the end, so you can reach out directly to Andy for help. But basically, the picture we're trying to paint here, right, is we have a nationwide parcel data feature service that can solve a lot of the things that constrain GIS teams, give you nationwide access, standardized schema, live current data, right? If we update it today, we update the county today, you access it in your system. That is our live data in your system, right? And we do try to have a solution for every price point in every size GIS team. It's easy enough to implement on your own. You can subscribe for as low as $1,800 a year and be off and running without ever talking to a soul here at ReportAll. You can use our partners to help you implement your own custom processes to get your teams off and running. So solutions and price points for really every size company and team and every size budget. And the reason we've worked hard to be that flexible is we truly do think that this will upgrade your experience when working with GIS data. And we really do think you would say things like, I love this feature service once you start to use it. We are going to answer some questions now, so we're going to shift into the Q&A, and please feel free to keep adding more. We have a handful here that we're going to answer. So, team, if you can shift us over to the Q&A slides, that would be fantastic. All right. We have everybody here. Welcome back, Laura. I've got the questions here. Laura, I'm going to throw the first one to you. There we go. How often is our parcel data updated? Laura, you lead the effort in updating our data. And you were just sharing some nice statistics this morning, if you remember them offhand. How often is our parcel data updated?
I do actually. So it depends on the county. A lot of them are county specific, but we do update. 30% of our counties are updated about monthly. 50% are updated every 3 months, and 75% are every 6 months, and at least annually, it's 96.5% of counties get updated. So if there's some constrictions for like certain counties, they only update once annually. We can only update them once annually. There's no purpose in updating any more often than that.
Sure.
But we try to update as often as the county will update. We try to keep that at that consistently. And our median parcel age is 83 days, which is very, very fresh.
Yeah, so half the country being updated at least every 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. We are willing to send you that information if you need to, didn't get a chance to write all that down. And this does tie in nicely to this next question that came up here. Is it live info? Yes, the parcel data is hitting our live database. You are streaming our live database into your platform. As we update those counties, as Laura's team is hard at work, you will get that live data into there. One other thing worth noting is we provide a link to the county GIS page with that parcel data, so that you can go and do further verification that the data hasn't changed since we last updated it, or that you can do some more research. We also do provide a vintage date with each parcel attribute, or with each parcel as an attribute, so that you can see when we last updated that data as well. We have a question here. What version? Oh, here we go. Yes, they can be saved as KMZ file. Let's go to the version of ArcGIS Online that is needed to use this data. Andy,
Yeah.
let you hop in on this.
ArcGIS Online specifically does not have versions. You might be thinking of ArcGIS Enterprise. That does have versions. This will always work in ArcGIS Online. Really with ArcGIS Online, instead of versions, you need to worry more about user types. This will also work with all user types as well. So a viewer can view the data, a creator can create the data. So don't have to worry at all about versions of ArcGIS Online. It works with all of ArcGIS Online.
We'll work with Pro as well. Experience Builder. When you access the recording of this webinar, we do have a slide that went over the different tools that it work in. Okay, let me tackle this one here. Yes, ArcGIS and the feature service can be used together to export the data. Shapefiles is a default format, GDB, CSV, KML, all default formats. Where you visualize that data after you extract it is, of course, up to you. If you are using AutoCAD specifically with that question, there is a plugin that Esri and ReportAll work together on that will allow you to actually stream the feature service into your AutoCAD environments over there. Great questions, everybody. Thanks for sending them in. Laura, how about we pass this one over to you? ArcGIS ReportAll with Google Earth Web.
I don't believe it works with Google Earth Web. I have not tried it. It's not supported right now, but there is no harm in throwing the client URL in there and seeing if it works. If not, we have done a lot of work to kind of make things work with different applications that customers are trying to use.
We do have a product currently that is a kind of a view-only layer for Google Earth Desktop. That's called Parlay 2.0. That doesn't have the full GIS functionalities that the feature service would have. Google Earth Desktop, as you may know, is being kind of phased out a little bit by Google. So we are exploring different ways to make the data available on Google Earth Web. But currently, I think Laura's, you're probably right on there. I don't know that the feature service API would function within Google Earth Web. Okay, I missed a question there. Andy, tell us about how you partner with us.
Yeah. So we are partners with ReportAll. In a lot of cases, that means ReportAll has a specific question or needs an implementation service. They'll get a hold of us and we'll help out. So we don't do anything with the live data. It's more just on the services side, specifically on the Esri side. So like I said, if ReportAll has a client that just downloaded ArcGIS Pro and needs help getting something implemented, or has ArcGIS Online and needs help with web mapping, they'll help their clients.
Yeah, you often see your clients use our data but don't mandate it, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, for the $1,800 a year, that's $1,875 to be specific, is the lowest tier we offer for the feature service pricing. You can have as many users as you want. The pricing is not based per user, it's based per usage, right? So the difference there would be, we give you a client key, you determine what maps you add that data to, who has access to those maps. There's no per user pricing. You could have 1,000 users for $1,875 total per year, but those 1,000 users would only be able to access full attributes on 15,000 parcels in that smallest tier. So it's based on how many parcels you need to access, not how many users you have accessing it. This is a fantastic question. Thanks, Jim, for entering that in. We do fully abide by all privacy laws, state by state, federally, etc. We are fully within the legal rights to gather and display the owner data. A lot of those, I have a full answer in my cheat sheet that I can email to you, Jim, if you want to see like how we've put a full answer together there. But my understanding is a lot of the restrictions that are out there pertain to governments and public entities, what they can do with the data. Folks like us who are collecting it can display that data. It's often owner name, address, or sale price is the data that people have questions about. There are certain states and areas where there's a process where people have their data redacted. If they make a request, hey, we need our owner name redacted, like for a police officer, that data is, of course, redacted as those requests come in. So all of our products fully confirm with every law that's out there. All right. Andy or Laura, ArcGIS Creator. I think that's a license type, yeah?
Yep. It is, yep. So to export parcel data out of ArcGIS Online, you have to have a creator or above. A viewer license can view all the data, but can't run any processes, right? So a viewer license can view the data, but can't export the data. You do have to have a creator or above license in ArcGIS Online to run any processes like export.
Perfect. That was our last question, and we are right at time. Yes, Howard. Sorry, I missed that question came in. We do have that. We will get that sent to you. You can actually search ArcGIS for AutoCAD parcels. Esri has some videos and some PDFs and one-pagers they've put together, and we'll get those sent sent to you. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, everyone who attended. We are right at time, a minute over now. So I'm going to end the Q&A there. Team, if we can go ahead and put the final slide up there, it will show contact information for Andy if you need to get in touch with his team, and contact information for me as well if you'd like to talk about upgrading to the ReportAll Parcel Data Feature Service. Thank you all and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.